Hello everyone and welcome back to Prodigal Overland. My name is Brad and today we have for you a rainy, dreary day. Hopefully I won't get rained on here in a little bit. It's been downpouring all day. It's supposed to rain all day today and tomorrow. So we're gonna try to get through this video as quick and efficiently as possible. Today what we have for you is a long-term review of the rock rails, lower front guard, winch mount, things that I have on my Jeep specifically from Chief Products. If you're in the market for some skid plates, some rock rails, some protection to allow your Jeep to go out off-road, you're gonna wanna stick around and listen to this video. If you're kinda on the fence between maybe an off-road animal, Chief Products, or another company, this video is for you. So I hope you stick around and enjoy what's coming next. So if you've seen our last video, that was the video where I went out, we were in Uwharrie National Forest in North Carolina, and we went out with a buddy of mine, Aubrey. Now Aubrey was rolling around in pretty much a stock Jeep Grand Cherokee. He did upgrade his tires, so that helped him out. But if you haven't seen that video, I'm gonna go ahead and post that up here. What you'll see in that video is just kind of the difference, adding some skid plates, some rock rails, that sort of thing, a little bit of a lift will allow you to do as far as getting out off-road. And today what I want to do for you guys is to go ahead and kind of walk you through what we have on our Jeep and also to look to see how has this stuff held up. If you're in the market or if you've bought rock rails or some of this aftermarket stuff, it's not cheap. And so you really want to make sure the things you're buying are going to last. One thing to note before we get too far into this and I get too wet with this rain is we abuse this Jeep, okay? So the gear we have on our Jeep Grand Cherokee needs to hold up, and as we walk through, you're gonna see some dents and dings on my rock rails. Honestly, I kind of see them as like a true badge of honor. I remember where we picked up a lot of these, what trails we were doing, why in the world I have it there. Kind of point those out as we can, but definitely the gear we put on our Jeep is used hard, so just kind of keep that in mind. So why'd I go with Chief Products? Well, when I was looking at kind of what I needed to put on my Jeep, a couple factors kind of played into that. One was kind of just the general look of it, right? So I don't know if you guys have seen, but like an ARB bumper or like a lot of these bumpers and stuff that you can get aftermarket just look massive, right? They just look big, they look bulky, like you're driving a tank. And I didn't want that. I wanted something that was sleek, that kind of looked like it was designed specifically with my Jeep Grand Cherokee in mind, not just kind of a one-size-fits-all approach to armor, okay? So everything I've found from Chief is very kind of sleek. It mends and not mends, it kind of fits well with your Jeep Grand Cherokee. It looks like they go together, right? So that was number one. Number two was just ease of installation, right? I had never ever installed anything on any vehicle before. This was a very first for me. So I needed it to be easy to get onto my Jeep. And if you've seen some of these videos, if you go to my rock rail install, I'll put a link up. That is the very first video I've ever did and the very first thing I had ever installed onto anything. And so it's a little rough, but we got it done. And from there we did the lower front guard, and then the hidden winch mount. And so what I wanted to do is find something that was really easy if you're not used to installing stuff on your vehicles. And for me, Chief Products fits that bill. And the camera's gonna blow over right now. All right, I just changed the camera position to try to protect myself from the wind a little bit. So this is gonna be an interesting video. Anyway, I wanted things to be easy to install. I didn't want to have to drill any holes. I didn't want to have to like cut anything, and everything I've had on with Chief Products, you don't have to do that. It's kind of bolt on and you're good to go. Another thing that I really appreciated about it was just the quality of the workmanship, the quality of the build. And so and as you'll see here, everything we've had on our Jeep, we put our Jeep through a lot, right? A lot of stuff, a lot of trails, a lot of abuse, and the stuff from Chief Products has just held up, plain and simple. It's held up. It's not wrecked, it's not anything. It just takes the punishment and deals with it. And when you're spending this much money for products, you want them to be quality products and you want them to hold up. And the stuff I've had from Chief Products has done exactly that. And I would say lastly, like, weight is a thing you need to consider when you're putting stuff on your Jeep. And if everything you're sticking on your Jeep is big, heavy, and bulky, that's great for protection, but you're gonna quickly overload your carrying capacity of your Jeep Grand Cherokee, or the cargo capacity, the payload capacity, whatever you wanna say. It's gonna get overloaded quick. Jeez. So what I like about Chief Products is there's protection where you need it. So as you're shopping around for stuff, just keep that in mind. Start adding up how much does everything weigh, because it does matter. You don't want to completely be carting around loads and loads of gear and off-road protection that's like built like a tank, which is great, but it's going to affect your engine performance and your gas mileage and that sort of thing. So those three things, the look of it, the quality, and really ease of installation are what kind of steered us towards Chief Products. So what I'm going to do now is just kind of go through the rock rails, show you what they look like now, the abuse we've had, and just kind of show you the lower front guard so that you can get an idea of how this stuff has held up after the abuse that we've given it. All right, so here we have kind of the front passenger rock rail. As you can see, I got a nice big dent here. That's from Black Gap Trail. In a little bit, I'll kind of talk about what we do to kind of handle it when we get scrapes and scratches, but I just wanted to show you what they look like kind of moving down along the side. Definitely we have some dents, we have some scratches. A lot of that is because of how we choose to use them and kind of how aggressive we are out on the trail. But all in all, very happy with these, how they've held up. Haven't had any problems with anything getting loose or anything like that. And honestly, I kind of like being able to say I got this dent at Black Gap Trail. So they're kind of like real badges of honor for us. So here we are looking at the driver's side. As you look down, you can definitely see a couple areas here that are starting to kind of show some rust. This actually just happened at Uwharrie National Forest when we were doing Dickie Bell and some of those trails out there. Again, happening because of how we choose to use the rails and the things we try to tackle in them. But like I said, here in just a minute, we'll kind of talk about what we do to fix these up, these spots, so that rust doesn't get any worse than it is. So moving along here to the front of the Jeep, this is the lower front guard. Like I said, very happy with this. It's held up very, very well. It's taken direct hits frequently, and really no dents or anything like that in this. A few scrapes and scratches that again I'll kind of sand over and paint over. I know some folks were complaining about, I've seen in some of the forums that they thought they had rust on some of their bolts. I personally have not experienced anything like that. And for us, it's just held up really, really well. Up front, the red recovery points from Chief Products as well. We swapped them out when we added the hidden winch mount. All right, sorry, I had to come in out of the rain, get a little bit dry. It was getting all over the lens, all over my glasses. I couldn't see. Camera's getting wet. Don't want to wreck the camera. Anyway, continuing on. Let me just kind of go through and tell you just a little bit more about some of the things we've seen with like our rock rails. So we have the bare bones rock rails, and so they don't have the extra kind of plating on there. The tube on the outside seems to be kind of a circular hollow tube, and so if you hit hard enough, so my Jeep weighs probably 6,000 pounds. So if you come down on a rock hard enough, it will dent. What we've done with the dents that we've picked up is kind of sand it down, because if it scratches it, it'll start to rust underneath. So we sand it down and spray paint it black, and you can't tell it's there, it's been repaired other than the little dent, but that keeps it kind of intact. Also, kind of along the underside, if you come down on a rock hard, again, it's going to kind of put some dents in there. I haven't had anything crack, I haven't had a weld break, I haven't had a mount break, but all that weight coming down on something, it is going to kind of dent. Now, if you're just kind of you know, they call these things rock sliders. So if you're just sliding across a rock, no big deal, it's not gonna dent. But you just wanna periodically do a couple things. If you're out on the trail, you wanna go ahead and sand down any areas where there's paint has been kind of scratched away, or the powder coating, and then go ahead and do like a Rust-Oleum or something over top of that, and that'll keep them in good shape. You also want to periodically go and kind of make sure that the bolts that are holding it in place have been kind of torqued down. We did that the first couple of times and haven't had any issues with anything getting loose after the first couple of times we were out on the trail. Like I said earlier, the lower front guard has taken several significant hits. That's that part on the front section. I'm so glad we got that, by the way, because it just gives you so much more confidence on the lines that you take and how you approach them. And we've not had any issues with dents or anything like that. Like I said, we have had some scratches through that powder coating that I'll kind of touch up, but that thing is a beast. It's held up really, really well. And then lastly, the hidden winch mount. Of everything we stuck on our Jeep, that was the most labor intensive, and it just, you know, requires taking off the bumper, and we did have to kind of finagle that in place. I had a hard time getting all the bolts to exactly match up. What we ended up doing was assembling it kind of on the ground and lifting it up into place. If you check out that install video, you'll be able to see what I'm talking about there. But I mean, as far as its performance, it's been fine. Holds the winch in place. I don't know what more you need it to do other than that. We've used our winch several times. We've got the Smitty built X2O Gen 2 winch, and that's been great for us so far. Yeah, I would have no hesitancy to recommend Jeep products. I've been very, very happy with their stuff. Okay, the only thing I was a little bit irked about was when so if you have the lower front guard and you decide you want to add the winch, those two things together, currently you have to get rid of your factory tow hook. So when that happened, because they couldn't get everything to kind of integrate with properly. So when that happened, I was a little bit bitter because I had perfectly good tow hooks that I didn't feel like I wanted to change out. What I did end up doing was I actually just sold the tow hooks on one of these Facebook forums, and they went really quick. And so I was able effectively to get quite a bit of a reduction in what I paid for the recovery points. So just if you're looking at getting the winch and the lower front guard, keep that in mind. Again, if you just have the lower front guard or you just have the winch, you can use the factory tow hooks. It's when you get them both that things don't work out. Also, we are proud to announce that we have become official brand ambassadors for Jeep products. So everything we have on our Jeep now has been purchased and bought by us, abused by us. Here, hopefully in the next few weeks, we'll be getting some extra gear in, so you'll have to stay tuned for that. We did get a fix for that bumper that keeps falling off. I don't think it'll be on. We're going out to Northwest OHV Park in Bridgeport, Texas. That's where we are right now. We're going out there later this week, and hopefully I can keep that bumper on in the meantime, but look for that video coming out next week. If you guys have experience with any other aftermarket rock rails, or even the Mopar rock rails, or any other gear, go ahead and leave a comment below of you like it, don't like it. If you've got Chief and you like it, let us know. If you got Chief and you've had an issue, let us know. But all in all, like I said, our experience has been very, very positive and very kind of user-friendly. And that's it. That's all I got today. So I hope you enjoyed this video. I'm gonna go dry off and get nice and warm. It's actually a little bit chilly here in Texas. But thank you so much for watching. If you've not yet subscribed to our videos, go ahead and hit that subscribe button. Give us a thumbs up if you like it, and we'll see you guys again real soon.